Hey everyone, it's Brent with Investing on the Go. If you guys are brand new here, I help people build long-term wealth by staying consistent through simplified investing challenges and real transparency. So subscribe to stay consistent and hit that thumbs up button below. Today, we're going to go ahead and cover the SoFi Investing Challenge Week 24 tiny deposits, real growth, full transparency. So if you guys are not familiar, we deposit $25 every single week into this account, just 25 bucks. And then recently, as of this month, I've started also, we're going to go ahead and talk about depositing our cashbacks into the SoFi Investing Challenge in order to grow this portfolio to $1,000. Once we get it to $1,000, I'm going to check out another platform. I'm not sure if I want to go check out Webull, Public, or Robinhood. So drop a comment down below. I'm looking forward to see if they kind of work with what I'm planning in the future. With that said, I do appreciate everyone tuning in. Let's go ahead and get into it. So, weekly performance snapshot here. The stock market this week was very volatile. Now, on Friday, right before market close, President Trump talked about tariffs and such, and the market tanked a big whop. Like last week was very red, whereas this week on Sunday, before the markets even opened, he put out another notification and it kind of eased some of the tensions that were out there on tariffs, right? I kind of said eased because throughout the week there was mentions of this and that due to tariffs. So it just really you can see the volatility here within the market through the week. Monday, we started up already higher. Tuesday, we started lower and then went up during the day. Wednesday, we shot higher, went down lower, then kind of evened out about flat on the day on Wednesday. Thursday, essentially kind of like a slow burn to the off. And then on Friday, kind of tricked everyone out. Friday morning, it went pop nice and high. Looked like it was going to sell off like mid morning and then grew to over I think it was near a percent close on Friday. So it was very an interesting day on Friday. Just big swings this past week. So we see here that the indexes as a whole all ended in green this week. The S&P 500 was up 1.74%. The Nasdaq up a whopping 2.45%, and the Dow Jones up 1.52 on the week. So those are huge gains. That didn't quite recover from last week's losses, but recovered a lot of what was lost. And if you added capital to the portfolios that were down on Monday, for example, I kind of added capital into the portfolio throughout the week. You came out positive right there, right? So the main highlights down here, I think there's something hidden behind there, but I think it's not too special, right? Banking tariffs will continue to be a main highlight going forward. This is something that came out this week. Regional bank fears, investors' jitters intensified throughout the week as regional bank Zion Bancorp announced loan write-offs due to borrower fraud. This, coupled with comments from JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon about potential weaknesses in private credit, sparked wider fears about credit quality and sent the regional bank stocks plummeting in the middle of the week. The sector eventually kind of stabilized here towards the end of the week, contributing to the market's recovery by Friday. And also throughout the week, I saw different things that were both positive and negative and positive and negative between the US and China trade tensions. So earlier in the week, fresh tariff threats from President Trump contributed to the market's decline. That was on Friday. And then market confidence was boosted after Friday on Sunday, indicated that it was Trump indicated that very high tariffs on China were not sustainable. I don't know. I thought this was, it may have been earlier or later in the week. So it may have been Friday that I saw this little mention there. Even if we want to apply 100% tariffs in addition to what's already out there, it's just not sustainable to do long term. And it probably hurts the economy more than it contributes to it. So that kind of helped ease it even more, right? And confirmed he would meet with the Chinese president later on. No specific dates. Another big thing out there in the market is gold and silver. So gold and bond market reactions in response to the volatility. Investors are moving to safe haven assets. Gold, the price of gold has climbed. I think it was 4,300 midweek when I checked it last. It may be up to around 4,500. I'm going to go ahead and put a little snapshot across the screen of where gold prices are at as of now. I'll also include silver in there as well. I know I sold my own silver back in April timeframe, I believe, April, May, I sold my silver for $34 an ounce. And now when I look at silver prices today, it's up nearly 40 some percent. It last time I looked, it was between $48 to $52 an ounce. Yeah, $48 to $52 an ounce. That's a huge difference. Now, I gave my brother the half of the silver that was his, and I went ahead and sold my silver off. But wow, who would have thunk it that the market would have increased by so much within that time frame? Whereas silver just a few years ago, I remember watching silver prices down in the $14-16 area, and you know, didn't do anything for several years. But here we are, high mid inflation, grocery prices and all these things are rising. If you go look at your beefs and chickens, it just really, we're going to go ahead and talk about our spending. This is something I want to start making some videos on our weekly spending budget and all these little technical things that we're spending money on. I think it's kind of a good indicator to kind of see just how much groceries are costing these days. Bond yields have also fell, right? 10-year yield treasury fell below 4% on Thursday as demand for safer investments rose steadily by Friday. So a lot of investors I took profits on a bit of the S&P 500 and my NASDAQ. My retirement funds, I put a little bit in cash. It's not all in cash, right? I just sold off a little bit, took a little bit of profits. We're about 2-3% from market highs. Right now, there's a lot of fear out there in the market. I want to go ahead and post this here. Fear is driving the market, and it's just at the sliver right now. All it takes is one little slip, and we could see the market kind of dive off a little bit of a cliff, and that would be completely fine. I think the market needs some sort of correction, anywhere from 10 or so percent, to get that fear that we're at market highs, and there's not a lot of push to really kind of give it that oomph that it really needs. We just want other companies there kind of helping boost along with that, right? Okay, start your own journey. If you guys are interested in starting your very own investing journey and have not started yet, you guys can start with either SoFi Invest, Public, Robinhood. All those links will be in the pinned comment down below. But if you guys would like to join any one of those platforms, I also have a free investment tracker. There's a spreadsheet down below that is completely free to get and have access to. It uses Google Spreadsheet, which we'll cover here in just a minute, and it kind of showcases what you'd like to have, like what's your goal that you'd like to hit as far as your investment tracker, and then you can track on a weekly basis what are your contributions that you're adding, how many, what stock are you buying, would you buy it at, how many shares, what's your total shares, right? And this kind of helps build that up if that's something you're aiming for. So check the pinned comment down below. Now, a week 24 progress update. This is my own portfolio over at SoFi Invest. Now, our base investment moved from $677.25 to a base of $702.25. So we contributed $25. That's where that money came from. Nothing else kind of helped move that base up. Now, next week, I am going to be depositing my SoFi redemption rewards of $7.18 in addition to my $25. So I'm going to go ahead and make a note in the next week that's where that $25 plus $7.18 came in. Now, buying into the market right now, we've had some recovery in the market, but we're not yet at all-time highs. So I'm still contributing small amounts of money into this account. Previous week balance, so where we were sitting at on our balance last week, right? We were at $712.05 versus our current week balance is $751.33. Now, $25 is contributed, that's at $730. And then we had market gains this week that also helped boost us a bit. So here we can see that our week portfolio change is 1.66%. That contributed to a gain of $12.28 of capital gains. Our total market return within this portfolio, it seems a little bit off. It shows 6.86% total maximum gain that we've had throughout this portfolio. And our difference there, you can see our total gains with market gains and dividends is $49.08. Now, with our $25 that we deposited last week, we purchased 0.04433 shares of VOO. Once again, these tiny deposits of $25 add up, right? We've accumulated now 1.22865 shares. Our goal right now is to accumulate 2 shares of VU within this portfolio, and our progress towards our second share is 22%. So we've already captured 1 full share of VU, and we're moving on to our second. And you can see here on Monday, the market essentially kind of popped higher on Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, just kind of climbing. Thursday was a bit of a dip. Friday, it did really kind of start off it started off really positive in the early week, tapered off into the negative, and then ended even positive, even more positive than where it had been previously in the week. And that is our progress update as far as the SoFi portfolio. Now, as far as our progress towards our goal, we have officially crossed over the 75% threshold. I went ahead and blew up this screenshot here just to kind of, I noticed that when I was watching the videos on my phone that I couldn't really see the spreadsheet. So I try to blow it up here so I'll see how it looks in today's and in this week's video versus the past weeks. But here is the spreadsheet you guys can have access to completely for free. The link is in the pinned comment down below. But you go ahead and punch in what your goal would like to be. Say, for example, our goal is $1,000. We punch in on the day on October 13th over at SoFi. We deposited $25, bringing our base deposit to $702.25. We purchased VU at $607.42. So you can see here, we essentially got a little bit of a cut. Last week, we purchased at $618. The week before that, $609. The week before that, $614. The week before that, $608. So actually, we were able to purchase at $607, which drove us back essentially 5 weeks worth of capital gains. And now that's kind of, you're buying it at a discount where you would normally have bought it either way. So we picked up 0.0443 shares of VU, which is pretty good on terms of like where we purchased it at. And we see our total shares there matches the other side, our account value there. Over the past few weeks, I like to keep track of what our account value is on a week-by-week basis. It's kind of just interesting to see that progression, just slow progression there. You can see our progress in percentages moving from 17, week 17, we were at 52%, right? We crossed over that threshold of 50% at week 17. And just 7 weeks later, we're at 75%. So we're picking up momentum. That is the compounding effect of investing and having your past contributions compound with capital gains as the market recovers, and also dividends getting paid out into the account, adding to the investment capital and appreciating with those capital gains. It's just a constant compounding effect, all happening within a small portfolio. That's kind of nice about showcasing these smaller ones. You kind of just see it all in action happening all the time. So I think that's going to wrap it up for today's video. If you guys found this video helpful, definitely subscribe for more weekly investing tips and all sorts of other stuff. Smash the thumbs up, would really appreciate it. It helps others find the channel. And if you guys have any ideas, drop them down in the comment section down below. I also have a Discord server that I just brought up. So if you guys are interested in checking out the Discord server, hanging out, posting some investing related information, go ahead and join the Discord server. The link will be down in the pinned comment down below. That is going to be it from me. I do appreciate everyone for tuning in and hanging out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.